Hello and welcome to Cinema Wellman. I'm your host, David, and we're about to unveil Cinema Wellman's 98th Oscar ballot. Well, not our 98th ballot, but I'm sure that you understand what I meant. This episode will cover 23 of our 24 choices for this year's Academy Awards, which will be televised tomorrow night. The only award we'll skip today is the biggie, Best Picture, and we have an entire episode coming for you tomorrow that will rank all 10 of this year's Best Picture nominees. As of right now, and we will never give up our quest to see them all, I've screened 42 of the 50 films nominated for Oscars this year. And the 8 movies I missed are spread across 8 different categories, which means if I haven't seen all of the nominees in the category, I've seen 4 out of the 5. So I'm pretty confident that the following choices would be what we'd submit to the Academy if they were foolish enough to give us an actual ballot. I read this year that voters weren't allowed to vote in a category unless they had seen all of the nominees. That's great. I think that should be the case. But are they enforcing that with the honor system in Hollywood? Come on. I say it would be foolish to give us here at Cinema Wellman a vote because, as I've said many times, I just know what I like and what I don't like, and everything here is based on personal preferences, and there is no wrong or right when it comes to opinions about art, and all of this supports why giving awards to art is both arbitrary and capricious. So, I'm not telling you who should win, nor am I predicting who will win, which I think is also ridiculous. But what I'm giving you today is this year's official Cinema Wellman Oscar ballot. We will be unveiling our ballot in the same order the Oscars were presented last year. There was one new category this year, which is for casting, and we're just guessing where they're going to sandwich that one in. For some of the categories, I will be telling you what number nomination this is for that person. When I do this, I'm referring only to other nominations in the category they are nominated for this year. Several actors and actresses and directors have also been nominated for Oscars in the past in different categories, such as screenplay or as producers of a Best Picture nominee. So, the envelopes, please. We will begin with supporting actor. Here are your nominees. Benicio del Toro, his 3rd nomination. He's got 1 win, and this one is for One Battle After Another. Jacob Elordi, his 1st for Frankenstein. Delroy Lindo, his 1st for Sinners. Sean Penn, his 6th, and he has already won 2 Oscars, and this one's for One Battle After Another. And Stellan Skarsgård, his 1st for Sentimental Value. 3 first-timers and 2 honored veterans in this category. And I'll be happy if one of the first-timers wins, even if it's not the one we cast our vote for. I've always enjoyed the work of both Delroy Lindo and Stellan Skarsgård, but the Cinema Wellman vote is going to go to Jacob Elordi for his portrayal of the creature in Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. I've seen roughly 15 Frankenstein movies, and Elordi showed me the creature in a way I really hadn't seen since Karloff in the original. Elordi's creature is complex and discovers who he is. This is one of his quotes. A quote, "I found what I am, what I am made from. I am the child of a charnel house, a wreckage assembled from refuse and discarded dead, a monster." This was one of my favorite movies of the year, and I love the director, so no surprise that our vote went to Elordi. Next, costume design. Nominees: Avatar, Fire and Ash, which I have not seen, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, and Sinners. I haven't seen Avatar, Fire and Ash, and I would never vote for one of those movies for any award ever. So we have 4 nominees to choose from. We're going with a true period piece here and voting for Hamnet. Frankenstein and Sinners also featured exceptional costume work. From what I know of history and the history of clothing, people used to wear some really uncomfortable shit. Layers and layers of uncomfortable shit, especially the ladies. So when you see performers in a period piece and they look uncomfortable, the costume designers did a good job. Next is original score. Your nominees are Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, and Sinners. Ever since we did our Film Composers of Note episode, I've been trying to pay closer extra attention to new movies I screen in search of up-and-coming composers I'm not familiar with. All strong nominations here. I enjoyed the score for Begonia very much as it captured the chaos and the uncertainty of the story. Sinners also featured an excellent score in a movie that had music at its heart, but barring a change of heart, after a second screening of Sinners, we're going to cast our Cinema Wellman vote for Hamnet. I thought the music was a perfect accompaniment to the drama in Mr. and Mrs. Shakespeare's lives and on Mr. Shakespeare's stage. Next up is makeup and hairstyling. Nominees: Frankenstein, Kokuho, which I've not seen, Sinners, The Smashing Machine, and The Ugly Stepsister. This is always a fun category for me since I consider the makeup and hairstyling people the true cinematic wizards. They do stuff that really shouldn't be possible, and they do it without CGI. Amen to that. It's not going to be getting our vote since we were more impressed with its visual effects, which they were not nominated for. But let's talk about The Ugly Stepsister for a minute. It's a Norwegian take on the classic Cinderella tale that features the tagline, "If the shoe doesn't fit." If you're familiar with the original version of Cinderella, toes were chopped off to get into that slipper. The Ugly Stepsister is a must-see for body horror fans, and it's a biting commentary on the beauty and fashion industry. At one point, one of the young women swallows a tapeworm egg, thinking that then she can eat whatever she wants without gaining weight. When she did that on screen, I said out loud to no one, "Oh, that's not going to be pleasant coming out." I was correct, and it was much, much worse than I imagined. At one point, her little sister is tugging at it, and it's just the thin part of the tapeworm. And I'm saying, there's a lot of tapeworm yet to go. And I was right. But see The Ugly Stepsister if you can. Wow. As far as this category, our vote's going to go to Frankenstein for the fabulous transformation of Jacob Elordi into the creature. Those are hours and hours in that makeup chair, which cannot be fun. Next, live-action short film. Here are your nominees: Butcher's Stain, A Friend of Dorothy, Jane Austen's period drama, The Singers, and Two People Exchanging Saliva. To paraphrase Christopher Walken on SNL, wowie, wow, wow. This was by far the category of the year for me. These were all exceptional short films, and I'll be happy with whoever wins. And whoever gets honored tomorrow night, I will be ecstatic because it's fantastic. It's not the case in every category during every year, but all of these shorts should be screened. I'm going to give you what IMDb tells us about each one. First up, Butcher's Stain, 26 minutes. Samir, an Arab Israeli working in a supermarket in Tel Aviv, is accused of tearing down hostage posters in the break room. He sets out to prove his innocence to keep this job that he desperately needs. This was tremendous, and they all are. I'm going to keep saying that probably, but this was wonderful, and you feel for Samir because Samir is innocent, and yet when he figures out how the posters are coming down, well, I don't want to say, I hate spoiling stuff. So see Butcher's Stain. Also see A Friend of Dorothy. It's 21 minutes. IMDb says a lonely widow's quiet life is upended when a teenage boy accidentally kicks his football into her garden. And that's fantastic. Next, Jane Austen's period drama, 13 minutes. England, 1813. In the middle of a long-awaited marriage proposal, Miss Estrogenia Talbot, love the names, gets her period. Her suitor, Mr. Dickley, mistakes the blood for an injury, and it soon becomes clear that his expensive education has missed a spot. Fantastic. This was hysterically funny. I'm of the opinion that a lot of men don't know a lot about what women's bodies go through on a day-to-day basis. I just think that. They don't care. And this, back in 1813, this Mr. Dickley and Miss Estrogenia and the rest of the names in this film are fantastic. You have to see it. You can see it. It's wonderful. It's so funny. I loved it. Next is The Singers. It's 18 minutes, a short description from IMDb. An impromptu sing-off will decide the best singer in the bar tonight. This is tremendous. Seedy little dive bar, just populated by regulars, all these old dudes. And the bartender has, he's got a lot of time on his hands. He's got another long night ahead of him. And he's just like, and they have all these dollar bills stapled to the ceiling. It's one of those places. And he says, one of those dollar bills is actually a $100 bill. And I'm ready to give it to the best singer tonight. And what then happens in 18 minutes, you're not going to believe. And the last one is two people exchanging saliva, which is 36 minutes. In a society where kissing is punishable by death and people pay for things by receiving slaps to the face, Angine, an unhappy woman, shops compulsively in a department store. There she becomes fascinated by a playful salesgirl. Despite the prohibition of kissing, the two become close, raising the suspicions of a jealous colleague. Yes, you heard that correctly. And listen, that two people exchanging saliva, the premise alone, I read that and I was like, I'm on board with that. For all of those, all in 1 hour and 54 minutes in total. And I guarantee you more enjoyment and more feels and more laughs and more tears in that 1 hour and 54 minutes than you'll get in the 3 hours and 17 minutes of the latest Avatar Sweet and Sour. Is that what it's called? Fire and Ice? Sweet Fire? Whatever. Sweet chili and lime, or whatever it's called. I loved all of these films, and I will be delighted to hear it took the Oscar home. These were all fantastic. I wish that would happen with Best Picture just once. I wish I would love all 10 of them, and they would all be deserving. It's so difficult to choose between these, but our vote went to two people exchanging saliva in a narrow victory over Jane Austen's period drama and The Singers. The Jane Austen short made me laugh, and the others made me cry, so status quo here at Cinema Wellman, where tears are shed. Next up, animated short film, Butterfly, Forever Green, The Girl Who Cried Pearls, Retirement Plan, and The Three Sisters, which I have not seen, but I'm very excited to see because I read what it's about. Cinema Wellman's vote in this category is going to John Kelly's Retirement Plan, which is essentially a monologue by actor Domhnall Gleeson about what his character will do once he finally has the time. My favorite thing on this list is his confidence in nailing his final words. We all wish for that, right? Next is adapted screenplay. Nominees: Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, and Train Dreams. I really enjoyed Train Dreams and Begonia and would love to read the source materials in the future, but Mary Shelley's Frankenstein being adapted by Guillermo del Toro, that's going to get my vote each and every time, including now. Next is original screenplay. Nominees: Blue Moon, It Was Just an Accident, Marty Supreme, Sentimental Value, and Sinners. Although I enjoyed It Was Just an Accident and Sentimental Value, this category was pretty easy choice for me, even though one of my criticisms of Sinners is that it's not quite sure what kind of movie it wants to be. It is certainly an original story, and we applaud originality here at Cinema Wellman, so Sinners will get our vote. Next up, supporting actress. Your nominees are Elle Fanning, this is her first, for Sentimental Value. Inga Ipsider Lilias, her first, also for Sentimental Value. Amy Madigan, her second, for Weapons. Wunmi Mosaku, her first, for Sinners. And Tiana Taylor, her first, for One Battle After Another. 4 first-timers here, and that's always refreshing. She will not be getting our vote, but kudos are in order for Amy Madigan, who has done quality work for a long time now. This is her second Oscar nomination, as I mentioned, and her first one came 40 years ago. That is dedication to the art and to the craft that I absolutely have to applaud. Amazing. Cinema Wellman's vote is going to Tiana Taylor in a movie that I really did not enjoy at all. Her performance was my favorite part in it by far, so she gets our vote. No issues with any of these potential winners, by the way. Next up, original song, Dear Me from the film Diane Warren, Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters, I Lied to You from Sinners, Sweet Dreams of Joy from Viva Verdi, which I have not seen, and Train Dreams from, you have a guess? Train Dreams. This category, that is usually the bane of my existence, has a clear-cut winner in my mind this year. A song I liked from a movie I liked, how odd. Cinema Woman's vote goes to Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters because that movie deserves to be recognized for being great fun. Getting in that K-pop van. Next, documentary feature. The Alabama Solution, Come See Me in the Good Light, Cutting Through Rocks, which I've not seen, Mr. Nobody Against Putin, and The Perfect Neighbor. Here's what IMDb has to say about the film that got our vote in this category. Quote, facing an incurable diagnosis, 2 poet lovers embark on a poignant yet unexpectedly humorous exploration of love, morality, and life's moments. Come See Me in the Good Light is the story of poet-writer Andrea Gibson and her battle with ovarian cancer. But what this documentary was really about for me was Gibson's love for her wife, Megan Fairley, along with her courage while facing her diagnosis. Gibson's words brought me to tears countless times during this film. The way, this makes me laugh, the way she describes the love that she has for Megan makes the deepest, most thoughtfully profound declaration of love I have ever made to a woman sound like the love a small child has for a toy. This was an amazing, inspirational story. Next, documentary short film, All the Empty Rooms, Armed Only with a Camera, Children No More Were and Are Gone, which I've not seen, The Devil is Busy, and Perfectly a Strangeness. Our vote in this category is going to All the Empty Rooms, a film that, from IMDb, follows news correspondent Steve Hartman and photographer Lou Bopp as they embark on a 7-year-long project to document the empty bedrooms of children killed in school shootings. As a former educator, each and every school shooting and subsequent movie about them hits close to home. I did the Alice drills. I did a lot of them. This was an exceptional film that centers on the aftermath of the unfortunately now commonplace school shooting. I give credit to the parents that allowed Hartman and Bopp to enter their homes and photograph their dead children's bedrooms, many of which, most of which, almost all of which have remained untouched. The film doesn't deal with the issue of guns in the country or how we need to do more to help our people with mental health issues. It simply lets the images of these dead children's rooms speak for themselves. Films like this are not easy to watch, but the hope is that they raise awareness in some way that will lead to changes in how we can make things better and safer in the future, especially for our children. Next, international feature film, The Secret Agent from Brazil, It Was Just an Accident, France, Sentimental Value, Norway, Surat from Spain, which I have not seen, and The Voice of Hind Rajab from Tunisia. Two of these international features, The Secret Agent and Sentimental Value, were also nominated for Best Picture, which seems to be a trend, and I have no problem with that at all. I think American moviegoers need to be more aware of global cinema. I enjoyed both of those films, but Cinema Wellman's vote in this category went to the Tunisian film The Voice of Hind Rajab. IMDb tells us Red Crescent volunteers receive an emergency call. A 6-year-old girl is trapped in a car under IDF fire in Gaza, pleading for rescue. While trying to keep her on the line, they do everything they can to get an ambulance to her. This is not a documentary, but it is a true story that feels like one. The emergency calls, all of them, and the one from Hind Rajab is the actual call that this little girl made. The film is then constructed around that using actors as the Red Crescent workers. Needless to say, this was a harrowing story that hammers home the point of how war kills innocent people, including children, every day. The hoops these workers had to jump through trying to get an ambulance to a 6-year-old girl in a shot-up car surrounded by her dead family is maddeningly frustrating. I really hope this wins so more people will see it. Next is animated feature film. Your nominees are Arco, which I have not seen, Ilio, K-pop Demon Hunters, Little Emily, or the Character of Rain, and Zootopia 2. Let me begin by saying I absolutely loved Zootopia 2, but you just cannot deny all that is K-pop Demon Hunters. A K-pop girl group with secret identities as demon hunters, a killer soundtrack, pro-girl message, Derpy and Susie, yes, yes, and yes, along with our vote for animated feature film. Next is casting. Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, and Sinners. I have to be totally honest and say that I don't understand this category, unless it was created just to honor every movie Wes Anderson makes going forward. If you go by acting nominations, One Battle After Another should win this since it received 4 of those. Sinners is right behind with 3, so one of those two is going to win it, I guess. Cinema Wellman's vote went to Hamnet, because I thought Jessie Buckley and Paul Mescal were perfect as Agnes and Will Shakespeare. So is it the number of the people in the cast, or can you win this with just 2 characters that were perfectly cast? Hopefully time will tell. For now, I just don't understand what they're looking for. And this new category came out of the blue. Remember when we were promised a stunt category? That never happened. Next is film editing. Nominees, F1, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sentimental Value, and Sinners. Sinners is a close second choice, but our vote went to F1 because we like F1, and the racing sequences in this film were extremely well done and captured the essence of an actual Formula One race. There's so much happening all at the same time during an F1 race. I have no idea how they can announce it on the telecast. Fantastic. Next is production design. Nominees, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, and Sinners. This has historically been one of my favorite categories because I'm one of those people that is constantly checking out the background while I'm watching a movie. With the great ones, everything you see in the background is put there on purpose. And I absolutely love that attention to detail. It was one of the things I was most fascinated with while I worked on the set at the Arborist. I remember one day I talked to a couple of the production designers and the set designers, and they're like, yeah, we got to go out and we got to go antique shopping. We need a Victrola. Our vote went to Frankenstein, whose production design and set decoration brought the Gothic to us in a big way. If it's a Guillermo del Toro film, everyone on the production has a keen attention to detail, one of the things that makes his movies so special. Next is sound. Nominees, F1, Frankenstein, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Surat. And as I mentioned, I have not seen that. I never really know what to do when it comes to this category, since I don't know anything that much about the art of capturing sound, mixing it with other sounds, and putting that on film. Hats off to you, but I'm not the best judge of what you do. That being said, Cinema Wellman voted for F1 since we saw it in IMAX and I felt like the race was going on in my head. I realize the award is for sound and not volume, but I stand by all of my votes. Next is visual effects, and your nominees are Avatar, Fire and Ash, have not seen, F1, Jurassic World Rebirth, The Lost Bus, and Sinners. I didn't think much of the film, but I was impressed by the fire effects in The Lost Bus. I have no idea how they made that look so realistic. Since there was no Godzilla movie to enthusiastically vote for this year, our vote went to Sinners, which also had some good fire effects of their own. So tired of the Jurassic Park movies, by the way. Enough already. Next, cinematography nominees: Frankenstein, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Train Dreams. If you tune in tomorrow for our Best Picture Rundown episode, you'll hear more about the movie we cast our vote for in this category. Train Dreams was an unexpected treat that was beautifully shot by Adolfo Veloso in majestic Washington state. The natural beauty of the Pacific Northwest is expertly captured by Veloso. My father would have loved this film for the scenery and the trains. Big scenery and big train guy, Ray was. Next, Best Actor. Nominees: Timothée Chalamet, his third for Marty Supreme. Leonardo DiCaprio, his seventh, and he has won one for One Battle After Another. Ethan Hawke, his third for Blue Moon. Michael B. Jordan, his first for Sinners. And Wagner Moura, his first for The Secret Agent. First of all, shut the hell up, Timothy. Stop weighing in on art forms that have been around for 400 or 500 years. Nobody cares what you think about anything, really. For someone who loves movies so much, I am so anti-celebrity and everything that goes with whatever that means. I have no use for any of that. Shut up and make your movies. If you want to talk about movies, go ahead. I'll listen. I am not interested in anything else you have to say about anything else. And you made a movie about ping pong, Timothy. Go away. That pissed me off so much. And I can't even... Our vote went to Michael B. Jordan for Sinners. And I hope he wins and he salutes opera and ballet in his acceptance speech. All right, calm down. Next, director. Nominees: Chloe Zhao, her second. She has already won one. This one is for Hamnet. Josh Safdie, his first for Marty Supreme. Paul Thomas Anderson, fourth for One Battle After Another. Joachim Trier, his first for Sentimental Value, and Ryan Coogler, first for Sinners. A few side tidbits about these directors before the vote is cast. Chloe Zhao's Oscar win was for Nomadland. Josh Safdie has 4 Oscar nominations, all this year and all for this film. Paul Thomas Anderson now has 14 total Oscar nominations, and Ryan Coogler now has 5 total Oscar nominations, even though this is his first as a director. I was all set to vote for Chloe Zhao for Hamnet, but I changed course recently and thought I'd praise a director for a movie I thought was too ambitious at first. After a second screening, I still think that, but I'm ready to give credit to the director for attempting such a far-reaching project. So Cinema Wellman's vote goes to Ryan Coogler for Sinners. Next, we have actress. Nominees are Jessie Buckley, her second. This is for Hamnet. Rose Byrne, her first, for If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. Kate Hudson, her second. First one was Almost Famous, right? For Song Sung Blue. Next, Renata Reinvents, I think that's how you pronounce her name. Her first for Sentimental Value. And Emma Stone, her fifth. She's already won 2. And this one is for Begonia. Emma Stone is the real deal. There's no doubt about that. And I love the projects that she continues to take, since many of them are far from the mainstream. And Jessie Buckley was fabulous as Agnes Shakespeare in Hamnet. The scene where she attends her performance of Hamlet and realizes what it's really about, and she stands there in just stunned silence with the tears streaming down her face. It's just phenomenal. But that being said, we voted for a performance that pretty much ripped our guts out. We voted for Rose Byrne in If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it, but be warned that it is not an easy watch by any means. IMDb on If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. While trying to manage her own life and career, a woman on the verge of a breakdown must cope with her daughter's illness, an absent husband, a missing person, and an unusual relationship with her therapist. Skillfully directed by Mary Bronstein, this film, and especially Byrne's performance, will definitely have an emotional impact on you. I thought about Byrne's performance for days afterward, which is always a good sign for me of a movie that, in a way, seeped into my soul. Ooh, it was a lot, and she did such a great job. And that leaves us with one category to go, which is the biggie. Here are your nominations for Best Picture: Begonia, F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Sinners, and Train Dreams. As I mentioned at the open, tomorrow's episode will feature our Best Picture rundown, and we will actually rank all 10, too many, solely by our enjoyment of them and nothing else. That's just the way we do things here at Cinema Wellman. We hope you join us for that tomorrow, and until then, take care.